Okay, so we're gonna get started on the live stream, but I just wanna let anyone know who's watching this on the replay, welcome. If you wanna be here right when I go live and know about it when it happens, then a good way to do that is to turn on notifications for my channel, so you will get notifications when I'm live and you can come hang out. And if you're watching on the replay, in the beginning here, we're gonna be waiting for people to arrive and all that, so if you wanna skip ahead to the actual seed stuff, feel free, or you can hang out while we get started. So, to those of you who are here right now, hello. I'm going to get this pulled up on my iPad, so I will be able to see your comments when we're turning the camera down. We're doing seed starting today. So I've got some pepper seeds. I've got a lot of seeds I need to start. Peppers are what we're gonna do today. So let me pull this up and let me know as you come in where you're watching from, how you're doing, all of that sort of thing. I would love to hear that. And I will get the chat pulled up here. Awesome. Oh, Josh is here. Josh says, hey Sarah, happy spring. Hi, happy spring to you too. It's really nice here today. It's like 70. So I have the windows open for the cats, but it's made it a little toasty in here. So if my cheeks get a little red, that's what's going on there. And what else? We've got a few different seeds I'm gonna be starting, and hopefully we can get them all done. We'll see how long it actually takes me. Josh says it's really nice here too in Philadelphia. Very nice. Also, for those of you who are watching, especially on the replay, but you'll all probably be interested to hear this, it's officially changed now on YouTube where with the live streams, the live chat, you can watch that on the replay. So if you want to see what people are saying during the live stream, then that will be there. We're not going to lose all those comments, which has been the case in the past. So that's nice to know about that. If you do comment during the live stream, or if you're watching it later on, that you will be able to see those on the replay, which I think is super helpful. And Josh says that he got a notification for that, so that's good, because I know they told me, but it's good to know that they're telling you that too. And we'll see if a few more people come and hang out. I also want to know, as far as those of you who are gardening, have you started your seeds yet? I know we all kind of live different places, so you might not have started yet, but you might not be as behind as I am. I wanted to get this done a lot sooner, but it just hasn't happened, so we're doing it today, and we're getting it done. Every year I hope to do it earlier, but it doesn't necessarily happen. But I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I'll start by showing y'all what I'm starting today, and then I'll go through the process and how we do it. So for those of you who are newer to gardening and are wondering how all this works, you can find out. And with peppers, we start peppers inside because, at least where I live in Virginia, it's not warm enough to start them in the ground, let them sprout, and then have enough time to produce. You just wouldn't get very much or anything at all. So we start them inside a little bit earlier so that they can get a jump start and then transplant them out when they're a little bit bigger and the weather is nicer. So that's that. Josh says, I don't have a garden. I live in a city apartment, but I do have a windowsill. Very good. Well, you can definitely still grow, excuse me, I'm burping. You can grow a few things on your windowsill, some herbs or maybe some lettuces or something like that. That might be good. Okay, so this is what we've got today. We've got a full stack. Now, if you watched my seed haul video, then you saw some of these, and then, because they're new seeds that I got, and some of these are old seeds. If you haven't seen that one, I'll link it around here later on after the live stream's over, so you can go over and check out the seed haul. But we've got mostly spicy peppers. There's a few sweet peppers here at the beginning. Three are sweet peppers, and then all the rest are hot peppers. So we have a lot of peppers to grow. Oh, I also need my cheat sheet. Wait one, how do I want to do this? That's in the other room. We'll see how long it takes Jason to get home. I don't know what time he's coming home today, and then maybe he can go grab it for me. If not, I'll grab it when I need to. The other thing that I wanted to show you is how I'm going to be doing the seeds. So I've got some popsicle sticks, and these are what I'm going to be using to label. So ahead of time, I've already gone ahead and labeled all of these with the varieties, so that way I will know what is what and things don't get mixed up. And Kind of Vegan says you can also grow things hydroponically. That's another option if you live indoors. There's lots of different setups you can get in different things, so that's if you live indoors, if you y'all know know what I mean. If you're growing indoors exclusively, or some people do it even if they do have a garden just to do something different. So that is another option. So I've got everything labeled here. So that's another part of my setup. Then I also have a popsicle stick that I just keep in my seed box that I have labeled with 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, and a whole inch. Just so it's easy for me to go in. I mean, you could just kind of eyeball it, but this is pretty easy because it just helps me to go in and make all the little holes for all the seeds to go in, and I have, you know, kind of the main options right here, and I can use this again and again and again every single year. So what we are going to do is we are going to start on, I think we'll start on our mini bell peppers. And I'll show you, I've got the seed tray already set up. I also did that ahead of time so that y'all could see how everything was done and didn't have to watch me just put dirt in the container. So I'm going to put my popsicle sticks down in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're also starting 5 of those. I remember those off the top of my head. So that's that. My stack is getting out of whack. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and turn the camera down now and show y'all what the setup looks like. And then, you know, we'll start some seeds. Y'all can continue to ask questions. Obviously, I have the iPad over here so I can see your comments about gardening stuff, or if just, you know, other things you want to chit chat about. That's fine too. We have another comment from, I never know how to say your username, so maybe you can tell me. K. Rybka? Is that right? Who says, hi Sarah, yes, I started some seeds already, probably too early. It's my first time, I'm learning as I go. Love your garden videos. Well, thank you, I'm glad you enjoyed them. No, I mean, I know people who have started their peppers like back in January who are really trying to get ahead of the game and have some really big plants and have a lot of production. That is not me. So here we are. So I'm gonna turn y'all to face down towards the seed tray now, and bear with me as we get ourselves kind of organized here. Okay. This is always a little bit of an issue of getting y'all where you can see what's happening. Let me see if I can turn it a little bit or move y'all down. Oh, there we go. There's the end of the tray. So now if I pull back, yeah, there we go. Y'all can see kind of what's happening. So I'll just show you a few cells and you can kind of see. So for any seeds that you get, like with these miniature bells right here, they will have instructions on the back. So if you're not sure, usually they will tell you how deep to plant the seeds. So like for pepper seeds, it's usually about the same for all of them, about 1/4 of an inch. So you can see that right here on the packet. But you know, it varies from plant to plant, but 1/4 of an inch is kind of the standard for peppers. So that's what we will be doing today. So I'm going to go in with my little popsicle stick here that I have measured off and just make 1/4 of an inch little holes. Now this is a different, well, I don't use seed starting mix just because it seems like kind of an extra thing that I haven't found is necessary. I usually just use potting soil. This is a different one from what I've gotten in the past, and as you can see, it has a lot of chunks of bark in it. So I'm a little concerned that that's gonna be not the best thing for germination. I think it'll be fine as long as I don't have any big pieces like this right here sitting over the top of a seed. But, you know, fingers crossed on that one. So that's what we've got going on there. Let me put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm gonna put in another flag down here, which I don't think you can see right now. And then I'm gonna go ahead and make another set of little holes. And so what I like to do is kind of go seed by seed or a couple at a time and just, you know, kind of batch it. So make a bunch of holes at once and then put in seeds. So first one we're going to do is the miniature red bell. I grew these last year. They're a sweet bell pepper, and they're just kind of fun and cute to have little mini peppers. I don't know, and we like them, so that was good. And I see that several of y'all are commenting. Kind of Vegan says, I have my first flowers on my tomatoes already. That's exciting. Awesome. That's once you start getting flowers, that's always fun. And Jot, okay, we're getting to some nutrition questions. So let me measure out a few seeds first. Now you could do multiple seeds in each cell. I only do one because these cells are so small. If you know, some don't germinate, that's okay. And I also grow extra. So like with the mini bell peppers, I want to have 3 of each variety in my garden. So 3 of the mini reds and 3 of the mini yellow, but I'm starting 5 seeds. You can't fully see because it kind of goes off the frame for y'all, but I'm starting 5 seeds so that, you know, hopefully I get 3. Sometimes I might have extras of things, and that's fine because some things maybe don't germinate or go wrong, so then I can kind of replace, you know, what I had planned with something that, you know, something that didn't do well, replace it with something that did better than I expected. And also if I have extras, I can find a place to sneak them in the garden or give them to friends and family who might want plants to grow in their garden. And I end up doing that a lot. So, you know, giving people plants just because we always have extra. So now that I've got the seeds here in the little cells, I will just cover them up with the soil and get them down in there nice and cozy. And I'm going to try to be aware of this bark stuff in here because there is a lot of it. I don't want that to inhibit what my seeds are trying to do. So we've got all those covered up, and then I'm going to start the next seeds. Now I'm going to turn y'all facing right up again so we can talk some more. Okay. Oh, and we can see we have a kitty cat coming down the hallway. And then I will look at some more of your comments and questions, and I will continue planting seeds if I can get you kind of centered again. Okay. That's pretty good, I think. You can let me know, but I think that's pretty good. Okay. So now we're done with this pepper, and we'll move on to the yellow bells, and that's kind of how that works. So let me look at some of your questions, and then I'll just continue planting seeds, and we can keep chatting and all that kind of stuff. Let's see where I left off. Okay. Josh says, nutrition question, what are your thoughts on canola oil? Canola oil is one of those things, it's high in omega-3s, which is great. It's also an oil that's good for high heat cooking. Some people don't love it for, I don't know, different reasons as far as how it's bred and stuff. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's not something I personally use in my kitchen. I use olive oil for when I need a liquid usually, and then, you know, I use other things. I use coconut oil and butter and bacon fat if I make bacon or whatever. I kind of use everything, but canola isn't something that I keep stocked. So if you're doing high heat cooking, or if you want an oil that's rich in omega-3, then it can be a good option. But, you know, it's kind of like anything. If you like it, use it. If you don't, that's fine. Okay. Teresa Baker says, I'm coming over when it's time to harvest. I love fresh veggies. Can't wait until the farmer's market. Yes, hopefully we'll have a lot of stuff. And that's all. I feel like I should be able to get more out of my garden than I do. But my approach is kind of plant a lot of stuff and then not spend too much time babying it. I'd rather spend time like starting seeds and getting the plants out there and then letting them do their things. If I really took super great care of them, I could probably get more production, but I'm sure we'll have lots of stuff. And I always want more. So because I love having stuff for us, but I would love to be able to share it with more people too. And I mentioned, I think, in my Q&A video that I just did about as far as what we do with the harvest. Most of it we eat, some of it we save, and then we are able to give a little bit away here and there, but I would like to be able to do a lot more of that because I know not everyone gardens, and I think the stuff we grow is pretty delicious, and also just because it's nice to share. I mean, I know people who garden who maybe grow stuff I don't grow, and they'll bring stuff over. It's just nice to kind of swap and see what other people are doing. So hopefully I'll have more stuff to give away, though I can't ship it to all of you, which is unfortunate. Okay, Teresa asks, how can I grow spinach all summer? Well, it depends on where you live and what the weather's like for you in the summer. But the big thing with something like spinach that's more of a cool weather crop is if you're trying to extend it into warmer months, and this would go for any type of lettuce or anything like that too, that does better in the cool weather and doesn't love the heat so much, is one, to pick varieties that are more tolerant to the heat, and that's usually something you'll see when you're looking at seed packets online or looking through seed catalogs. So that's a good thing. And also planting them in partial sun, so areas of your garden that are a little more shaded, or planting them in the shade of another plant could be good. So maybe you start some lettuce, and then, you know, you have some beans that you plant in front of them that grow up a trellis, so then as the beans start to grow, they'll start to shade the lettuce a little bit, that sort of thing. Or planting them under plants, you know, so they get a little more shade. That can be a good way to do it too. So those are some different options to help you extend your season. Kind of Vegan says, how many days to harvest for those mini peppers, and how many total mini pepper plants will you have? So for these, let's look at the packet. This says 90 days from transplant, so that's not including the seed starting process. So it'll take a couple weeks, and then once I put them out, it's supposed to be at about 90 days, which is about standard. I mean, if I'm looking at the other seeds I have here, it looks like most of them are around that too, if they say. So they don't necessarily, I mean, they're going to be a little bit faster than like a bell pepper because they're small. But and that's one reason I like them. Another reason I like the minis, besides their cuteness factor, is that when you grow bell peppers, you know, you're getting fewer peppers per plant because they're larger peppers. So if something goes wrong, if one goes bad, then it's kind of like, oh wow, you lost a lot. Whereas with these, because it's a bunch of little ones, I kind of like that better, especially since I kind of take a hands-off approach. It's nice to have something that, you know, if we lose a few, it doesn't matter. They go in the compost and it's fine. So, and I'm doing, as far as totals, my hope is to have 3 of the mini reds and 3 of the mini yellows, and I'm planting 5 of each, 5 seeds. So I want to have 3 of each. Last year I think we ended up with 5 of each because I wanted 3 and I planted 5 and they all germinated. So, you know, depending if I get more, I might find a spot for them in the garden or give them to someone else. But bell peppers are pretty affordable at the farmer's market. And what I really like is the hot peppers and trying all the different varieties. So that's why we grow more hot peppers, because I just think that's more fun than just growing bell peppers, which are, you know, a little more common than maybe some of the really interesting different hot pepper varieties. And if I am growing bell peppers, I like to get something like this that's a little bit different. These are from Seed Savers Exchange that I got these seeds, and they have the red, they have the yellow, and then they also have like a brown chocolate colored one. So if you want to get all 3, you can do that and have a really nice mix. But I just went with the red and the yellow last year, and we like them. They did pretty well. They're nice because you can kind of just take one whole and just like bite into it and snack on it. So sometimes Jason would pack them in his lunch, or also I would use them just to dice up and, you know, put in an omelet or whatever. But, you know, they're not as easy to cut up as a big bell pepper because you're dealing with a lot of little ones, but they still work. So that's kind of how we did those. So I'm planting the yellow bell pepper seeds right now. And I really hope this soil isn't a problem, because I just looked at the bag and I was like, that looks good. It's potting soil. That's fine. But it is kind of chunky and I don't love that. Okay. So now we've got the yellow peppers in there. Teresa says, thank you for your help. I can tell you're super healthy because you eat super healthy. Thanks. I'm glad that you find the videos and stuff helpful. That's always my goal, is to provide information or inspiration or ideas or discussions or whatever that can be helpful to y'all. So yeah. All right, I'm covering up these yellow bells right now. And so these peppers are kind of a pain as far as germination. If we're talking about those specifically, 14 days is what most of the packets say. So they take a little bit longer than some other things, which can be a little like you're kind of waiting, you're hoping that things are working, as opposed to other plants, which will shoot up out of the ground pretty quick, and it's a lot more exciting. And the other thing with peppers is I find that they can be a little finicky. I did buy a heat mat last year, which can help them, so I'm going to do that again this year and see if that helps. And then also, it seems like, I don't know, from what I've read, the hotter the pepper, it seems like they have poorer germination rates. I don't know if that's just kind of a standard rule. I don't know if it's just because, like, it's so extreme that the viability isn't as good. So, I'm not sure. Teresa says, you do good work sharing information, very helpful. Awesome, I'm glad to hear it. Okay, so now we're going to do this next one. So this is Jimmy Nardello. And this is one that I grew, I think I grew this my very first year, and I don't know that I've grown it since because we've just been trying other peppers, but I wanted to bring it back into the mix this year. This is a really fun pepper. So this is a sweet pepper, but you know, it's this long skinny type. So some people might look at that and think, oh, that's a spicy pepper, but it's not. And it kind of, let's see how they describe it. Yeah, on the packet they say delicious roasted apple flavor. So it kind of has like a little more complex flavor than maybe just your standard bell pepper. Super sweet and delicious. And this is a favorite of a lot of people. So I thought, hey, let's grow this again this year. So, you know, I have a lot of seeds in my collection. Some of them are standards that I grow every single year without fail. Others kind of come in and out, you know, but I like to try different things and mix them up. And then, of course, buy new stuff, as y'all have seen, because I kind of have a problem and want to grow everything. So I'll put some of these in. And let me go, I'm gonna go grab my sheet real quick, if y'all will bear with me. I gotta run down the hall, it's in the other room, because I made a sheet for myself with a list of all the plants, so I would know how many to plant. And I didn't bring it in here. So I'll be right back, talk amongst yourselves, and I'll see you in a second. I'll try to be quick. All right, so I got my list. And I do this on a spreadsheet. That's another thing, a tool that I use for gardening that I really like. Let me get another sip of water. That's another tool I use that I really like is spreadsheets to just keep me organized with my seed inventory and how many plants of each thing I want to plant, and I keep track of how many plants I want. Then I'll do a column for how many seeds I want to start. Then I have a column for how many plants actually germinated, and then how many I'm going to put in the garden. So that kind of helps me know, like if something didn't have a good germination rate the year before, then I know I need to plant more of it. And then I'll also put the dates. So that helps me know as well. And I'm actually ahead of when I started pepper seeds last year. So even though I'm much later than I want to be, I'm doing better than I was last year. So that also helps me too, if I can look at that and be like, okay, I did this by this date last year. I really need to try to get it done by at least then. So I usually use a spreadsheet for that, but because spreadsheets are on my phone and I am talking to you by live streaming through my phone, I can't use that. So I made a little sheet here with all of my numbers listed out. So question just came in from Klosky Family Farm. How do you feed your pepper plants? I don't really do much of anything. I don't really do any fertilizing. I just kind of let the plants do their thing. So I'm starting them in this potting soil, which is, I think it was a mix of a few different things plus some compost that I got, and I just got it at Walmart. And then I'll end up potting these into the same thing when they get a little bit bigger probably. And then I just put them straight in the ground in the garden, and then I'm just like, good luck. Which maybe isn't everyone's approach. Like I mentioned earlier, if you really want to baby your plants, you could probably get a lot more out of them. But I mean, the soil's good. I try to add stuff in, you know, to keep it better. I heavily mulch everything to keep the soil healthy as well. Now, I don't know, if we moved somewhere else, obviously the garden setup would be different, and I also think we probably have a better composting system. Right now we have a throw everything in the pile kind of system. I don't do a very good job of composting. Like everything goes out there, but I don't take care of it to really get a lot of good compost out of it. So it's more just diverting it from the landfill at this point, but I'd probably work on that a lot more and do that just to keep the soil a little more rich, especially for the long haul. So I don't do too much. I just say, you know, good luck, plants. You can do it. I believe in you. That's about it. Okay, so let me cross off the things that I've started. Kind of Vegan says spinach germination rates are the worst. Yeah, some plants are harder than others. So I've never grown spinach. I've grown some different lettuces before, but never spinach specifically. Okay, so we did both of those. Now we're gonna do the Jimmy Nardellos, and I'm planting 6 of these. I think I figured I wanted 4 in the garden. And I also have the issue of, I like to grow a lot of varieties. So, you know, it's kind of the balancing act, of getting enough of each plant so you have a decent quantity of that specific item, but then also having room for all the other varieties you want to grow. So I'm trying to balance that out, and we'll see how we do this year. Let me go ahead and put in the flag for the next one too. So I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So, you know, I'm trying to figure that out. Like we're growing a lot of jalapeno plants this year because I really like those. They seem to do really well, and they're very easy to use in cooking because a lot of recipes call for jalapenos, or just things you would generally make. It's like kind of spicy, put it in there, it works. Some of the hotter peppers I'm growing fewer of, because how many super spicy peppers do you need? Probably not that many. And also I think about pickling and stuff. So I just kind of eyeball it, and we kind of adjust from year to year, but I'm always trying to figure out that balance of getting enough of each thing, but also having room for all the things. Okay, so next we're planting are the Jimmy Nardellos. And I'm just doing the same thing as earlier. I just made my little holes in the dirt with this. And then I will put them in and cover them up. Let me know if y'all garden, because I know several of you do. What types of varieties do you like to grow? I mean, I'm going on about how I like to do the spicy peppers and, you know, different things that I look for, but I'd love to know if you have go-tos that you always grow, or, you know, a favorite variety. And, you know, maybe it's something I haven't heard of, because y'all know I'm always looking for new peppers and new plants to buy, as you can see by all the seeds I have in my collection. Because I just can never settle on something. I just like to try all the new things. So let me know if you have any favorites. And then, you know, for me, I'm in Virginia. So, again, we're starting indoors because the plants need some time, need a little more time. Which I think probably most, I don't know about really hot places. Like, does anyone start their peppers directly in the ground, even if it's super warm? Maybe they just don't do well with that anyways. I'm not sure, but here we definitely have to start them inside. Okay, so now we've got those in the ground. So the next variety we're going to grow, or that we are going to plant, these are the Aji Chinchi Amarillo peppers. I got these from Southern Exposure Seed Exchange, which is, it's not going to focus on that very well, but they are in Virginia actually, and they have a lot of seeds that are best suited for the Southeast. And a viewer suggested them to me last year, so I got on the list for their seed catalog, and I was able to get a few things from them. So this, the only bad thing about their packets is they don't have a picture, but these are very small orange colored hot peppers that are supposed to be popular in Peruvian cuisine, and I just thought they looked really cute, and I love that bright orange color, so I thought I'd try them. And how many of these am I doing? So these I'm growing 4 plants so that I can have 2 to 3 in the garden. Okay, so I'm starting 4 seeds, I should say, so let me make the little wells for those. Alright, that's 4, and then I will put in the flag for the next one, if I can find it. I had all of these popsicle sticks like organized in a stack, and then once I took them apart, now they're just all over the table. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got these, and if you haven't seen pepper seeds, I mean, you've seen them in plants before when you cut up a bell pepper. It's, you know, that's what they look like. That is one thing about the pepper seeds, and a lot of seeds, is that they all kind of look the same. So, and so do the plants when they start off. So you definitely want to make sure you're labeling things, unless you like the adventure of not knowing what you're planting. That's fine too. Because some things, you know, have very distinctive looking seeds, even between varieties, but the peppers are definitely kind of all the same. Okay, so we've got those in the soil, and I'm just doing the same thing I showed y'all earlier, covering these up. Yeah, I'm really thinking this starting mix might not be great. Well, y'all will see when we do garden updates how things do. Hopefully we have some plants. Okay, next variety is the Aji Cristal. Now, I grew this for the first time 2 years ago. They are yellow peppers that ripen to red, but they're best when you harvest them yellow, at least from what I read on the internet, and so I went along with that. And they look small in this picture, but they were pretty big peppers, and, you know, they're good for pickling too, which is nice. Grew these 2 years ago. I really like them. They kind of have like a citrusy, grapefruity kind of taste, which is nice. I started seeds for them last year. None of them germinated. So I don't know if it was just a fluky thing, but I'm planting a lot this year. So, you know, because I want to make sure I get at least some. So maybe, I don't know how many seeds we have in here. Maybe we'll just plant them all. Maybe I'll do 2 per cell. I'm already planning to do 8 at least. So let me measure out 8 of these. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's the end. Let me put in the next flag to kind of mark myself. But yeah, and I don't know why, because the first year I didn't have any like big troubles with them, and you know, all my other seeds will last for several years and do just fine. I will go ahead too, in a minute, if anyone is joining who wasn't here before, maybe on the next pepper or two, I'll turn the camera down again so you can see what I'm doing. I just prefer to be looking at y'all most of the time, because otherwise you're just kind of looking at dirt, and I don't know how interesting that is, but I'll do it again for those of you who are just coming on and haven't seen what my setup is. Okay, so let's see how many seeds we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so we've got quite a few. Maybe I'll just do the 8, and we'll see, because I only want like 2 or 3 of these. But like I said, they didn't do very well last year, so we will hope and pray that this year will be different. And again, if they don't grow, that's why another reason to have extras, because some of these, all the plants will germinate and we'll have a ton, and others, it won't work out. So if these don't grow, I'll have plenty of other varieties to kind of fill in the gaps for. Okay, Kay Rybka says, do you save any of your own seeds? And that works for my username. Good. I'm glad that I'm saying it, at least in an acceptable way. I haven't done too much. I haven't done any seed saving yet. It's something I would like to do, especially as I start to really settle in on varieties that I like, because, you know, saving seeds means that you don't have to buy them, which is great. And then also, you know, if you're saving seeds from super healthy plants that grew in your garden, then you're also selecting for the ones that did really well and maybe tend to do better in your area, which is also a good thing. But right now, because I'm, you know, kind of an earlier gardener, I've been doing it for, I don't know, 4 years now, 4 or 5 years, something like that. I still have a lot of seeds from when I purchased stuff, you know, because I don't plant the whole packet in a year. So I haven't gotten into it too much just because I still have the seeds, but I would like to, especially as now some of my varieties are starting to get low, because I think that would be a good thing to do. And some things are easy to save, like beans are really easy, tomatoes are easy, and you don't have to worry too much about those crossing with each other because they self-pollinate. So certain things like that are easy to do, and then other things that are more difficult, then I'll just continue to buy because, you know, it's the effort versus the money kind of thing. But I do think it's a good thing to know how to do. I mean, and also people worry about, you know, like the apocalypse and can you save your seeds? But, you know, if I needed to do that, then I'm sure I could figure it out, but I don't necessarily need to do it now. So yeah, tomatoes I'd probably do in the future for sure. I don't know about peppers. Peppers I guess are pretty easy. I don't know about those crossing as well. And then beans. So I would definitely save those. Okay, so the next pepper, and I will turn y'all facing downward so you can see when I plant this one. But the next one we are doing is the Brazilian Starfish. Let me cross off on my little sheet here the ones that we've done just to keep me on track. So we're doing Brazilian Starfish, and I want to have at least 2 of these in the garden, so I'm going to plant 4 seeds, and we'll see how it does. And then what's next after that? Let me put in the next flag so I know where to stop. That's not it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And I just saw a question come in. Kinda Vegan says, are you planting multiple seeds per pod, then thinning out the slow growers? No, so I'm just doing 1 per pod. That is another way you can do it, is to plant multiples and then pick the best one. Because I have these trays, which you'll see when I turn the camera down if you haven't already, this is a 72 cell tray. And so I'm fine with doing, you know, 1 per cell because they don't take up very much space, and I have my big grow rack. But if I was trying to grow in less space or something, then I'd probably do that. Also, because most of them end up germinating and they're all pretty good. It's rare that I have a situation where a lot don't germinate. And so because of that, I don't know, I'm always like, oh, well, now I just wasted that seed and that perfectly good plant, which is maybe silly because seeds are pretty cheap. But then again, when you're buying all the seeds like I am, it can add up. So I just do 1 per pod is usually my method. Okay, I'm going to face y'all down towards the seed tray again. And then you can see me plant these. And I'll try to get it somewhat straight on for y'all. Okay. So I think, let me put my finger, yeah, okay, so y'all can kind of see what I'm doing here. So this is the one we're working with. So you can see it's all these little cells, and I pre-filled these with dirt before we started. So I just filled it in with a layer of dirt to the top, pushed it down to pack it with my fingers, and then put in another layer to fill it out to the top. So now we're going to be starting over here. We're doing the Brazilian Starfish, which is this one. And this is a new to me pepper. It's got a fun little shape, so we will see how that does. So we're going to make our little holes with my popsicle stick. So I'm doing 4 of those. So I've got that, that's done. Now we're going to take out our seeds and put them in their little spots. So I'll dump some of these out. Ooh, these are pretty little. Oh, that wasn't very many either. Also with seed packets, depending on the variety, you'll get more or less. So we don't have too many of these, but more than enough for what we need. So, well, these are small. My long fingernails are kind of getting in the way. Okay, so I'm just putting those in their little spots. There. And I'm going to put one up top here, which I'm not sure is in frame for y'all. Okay, so I'm going to put the rest of these back in the packet. We'll use these in a future year's garden if we like how these turn out this year. So now I'm just going to cover these up with my toothpick or popsicle stick. All right, everyone's all covered up. And then I will turn y'all to face me again. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So that's how we do it. And it's just, you know, doing that process over and over again. The good thing about seed starting is it does take a little bit of time compared to just going and buying transplants, obviously, but you get more options as far as what you can grow. You know, something like this probably isn't going to be at your local nursery unless you have like a place that has a lot of different varieties. So you can grow different stuff, but also it's cheaper, which is nice. So I like doing the seed starting. It's not that hard. Like I said, it takes a little time, but it's, as you can see, it's really chill. So you could do this and watch a movie or listen to a podcast, or if you have other members in your family, y'all can kind of do it together. If you have kids or whatever, it's just kind of a relaxing type of activity. Okay, so let me cross that one off my list over here. And the next variety we're going to do is this one, Buena Mulata. This is, I want to say it's Caribbean. Yeah. And it is really cool because they're these long thin peppers and they start out purple. They will go through several different shades, but this purple color, I mean, you can eat them when they're this shade, and I just think that is beautiful. So I'm gonna plant some of these. Let me make my little wells. Okay, I'm doing 5 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm gonna make my little holes. And let me know if y'all have any other questions, just chit-chatty stuff or anything about the peppers or the garden or, you know, other things. Nutrition stuff, if you want to talk about that, that's good too. Okay. So let's get these guys in their little homes. And I wish that I had known what this potting soil was like. It's very barky. And the stuff I got last year, I don't know what it was. I got it at Walmart, just like this, but I like that stuff a lot better. Okay, so these guys are in their cells. I'm just gonna cover them up. Okay, so let me take a water break. And also let me check the time. Okay. All right. Next is the Chinese 5-color pepper. So this is one that I grew for the first time last year, and it was a big hit. Similar to the last one that I just planted, the Buena Mulata pepper, this one starts out purple and then it goes through this kind of color change. So it'll go to like this kind of yellow, I don't remember the order. Maybe it goes to like white and then pink and then yellow and then orange and then red. It kind of goes through all these and it ends up red. And you can eat it at any point. So what's really nice about this one, because they're very small peppers, they're like this big. As the plant, you know, is going through the season, you know, earlier peppers that come on start ripening, and then you have new ones coming on. So you'll get all of these colors on the plant eventually. It's beautiful. So this is a really good one if you want something that's a little more ornamental. Then obviously they're edible as well. And this was Jason's, I think, probably one of his favorite things that we grew last year, just because it was so pretty. So this one made it back for round 2 as well. Okay, and I have down here that I'm planting 4 of these. I saw we had another comment come in. Fresh Arch says, I can't wait until I live in my own home so I can at least have some herbs and stuff in pots, maybe even a garden. Yes, I mean, that was something that I definitely look forward to, was getting out in my own space and being able to do all this stuff, because it is really, really fun, and you will get there for sure. And that's another thing that I love about gardening, in addition to, you know, that excitement of the first year and the first things you grow, is that, like you kind of alluded to in your comment, it's a little bit of a process. So the first year, maybe you just start with some things in pots or just growing a few items, and then every year you can expand out from there, and you get to learn more things, and become more skilled and try different varieties. And it's just kind of like this never-ending process of just like trying new things and learning new things, which I think is really fun. And another thing I love about gardening as a hobby is that it is a seasonal hobby, which means I have to do it. Like, anything else I could kind of put off, and I will often do that, like, it doesn't really matter, I should do something else, or, you know, I spend too much time on my phone instead of doing stuff that I actually want to do, which is always something that I'm trying to work on. But with gardening, it's like, okay, you got to do this because the clock is ticking, and if you don't do this, you're going to miss out on it. So that's one thing I like about it, is it kind of forces me to get myself in gear, and make things happen, and spend a whole Saturday looking at seed catalogs, even though there are a million other things I could do, because it has to happen now, or, you know, we're not going to have a garden this year. So for me, I find that really helpful, because it pushes me to make sure I actually make the time to do the thing that I enjoy, rather than put it off or make excuses and do other stuff that I don't enjoy as much. Okay, so these are in their little cells, and I'm just going to cover those up, and then we will move on to the next one. Okay. So next up is jalapenos, and we have 2 different varieties we like to grow, so I will show you the first one. Let me see, let me count off how many of these I need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay. And then I think we're doing the same on the next one, so I'll count those 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, all right, so jalapenos. I actually grew jalapenos for the first time last year, which might be surprising, because I feel like it's something that a lot of people, even in the beginning, start off with. But y'all know me, I want to grow all the like wild, bizarre things that no one has ever seen before. So jalapenos, I was like, you can get those at the grocery store, you can get those at the farmer's market, I don't need to grow those. But last year, Jason was like, can we please grow some jalapenos? Because whenever my parents have grown them, or anyone who grows them, it seems like they're super productive, they're just versatile and great and delicious, we can pickle them, why aren't we doing this? So I was like, okay, you're probably right, and we did. So we grew 2 varieties last year, and I thought maybe we would see if we liked one better than the other, but really they both did great. So I'm growing them both again, just because you never know with the conditions. Maybe one year one does better, one doesn't, so why not grow both? And we're growing a lot of them. So last year we had, I'm gonna say 5 plants of each, and I really like that amount, so we're gonna do that again, and I'm starting 7 of each. So this first one I got from Baker's Creek, and this is the Craig's Grande jalapeno, which did well. So I've got my little cell set up for it. So that's the first variety, and these are a little bit bigger of the 2 that we grow. And so one thing they have on there is that, I think it's this one. Yeah, this one is larger, so it's better for kind of like if you wanted to do like stuffed jalapeno poppers or that sort of thing. But like I said, we just kind of ate them and used them in all of our cooking. And I didn't do a really intense comparison because they both just seem to do pretty well. So I've got these. We're gonna put them in their little homes. And this is really exciting. I can't wait for, I mean, I love all the stages of the gardening process. But there's something just so exciting about seeing the seeds germinate and those plants, you know, get going. And then, so that's something I really look forward to. And then like another exciting part of it, I think, is when you start to get your first flowers on your plants, like someone mentioned earlier. And then, you know, when you start to see your first fruit and it's not ripe yet, but you can see it on there. And then when the first one ripens, and that's exciting. Then when your plant starts to become covered in whatever you're growing and you're getting these huge harvests, like at each stage, there's something to be excited about. And I think Jason thinks I'm funny or cute or something, because, I mean, y'all might have heard me at some points in different gardening videos, but sometimes we'll just be out in the garden and I'm like, Jason, this is so amazing. Like, look at all of this. Nature's amazing. Because every year I'm always just blown away with, you know, we start, and this is something I say you know how you say things all the time, and then the people who are around you and hear it all the time are like, yeah, I know, you say that all the time. But something I always say all the time is, it's just amazing to me every single year how I can start off with just one little seed, and it can germinate and then grow into this plant and then become a big plant, and then that plant can produce so much food just from that one little seed to start off with. I just think it's miraculous, and it always gets me excited. Okay. Next jalapeno variety. This one is called Traveler Strain, and this one I got from Seed Savers. So this is just another one, and this one is a little bit shorter. I wonder if it doesn't have on this, but these are about 3 inches, so they're a little more cylindrical. As you can see, I mean, this is a drawing, an illustration, but these are more maybe what you think of, and these are a little bit shorter. So just a different variety. They're both jalapenos, but a slight difference there. Let me make the wells for these. And so yeah, we're trying to have 5 of each of these, just so we can have all the jalapenos. And I did can some pickled jalapenos this year that I have down all stored together, and those have been great to have. We actually just broke into the first jar here recently because I was trying to wait because I didn't want them to run out, but they are nice to have. And Jason really, really loves the spicy peppers, and he loves having the pickled jalapenos, so these were definitely a good addition for us last year. I'm gonna put all these. I saw Kind of Vegan says, if you're a foodie, you have to learn about growing. Agree, it is amazing. Yeah, I think that's true. Like, if you're into food, then you very well may also be into gardening, because it's just another extension of that whole process, and you know, learning how that food gets on your plate, but also, again, being able to grow so many cool varieties that you definitely can't find at the grocery store, and you might not be even able to find at your farmer's market. I just think is so fun, because it just makes your meals so much more interesting, all the different colors and flavors, and I find it really exciting to see all the variety that's out there that you can get with gardening. Okay, so covering up the jalapeno seeds. Hopefully those will do well for us, because I enjoy having a lot of those. Okay. Next, pepper. Let me cross those off my list. We're working our way. Y'all can see we're working our way down the list. So next one is lemon drop, and we're doing 4 of these. I hope to have 2 plants, so we're doing 4 seeds, because I don't know how well they'll germinate. 2, 3, 4. And let me put in the flag for the next one. And this is one of the new ones. And Fresh Arch says, gardening is so punk. This is one of the new ones that I've never grown before. So we will see how it does. But it's supposed to be quite spicy. And I think this is another one that's supposed to have a citrusy, yes, slightly citrusy heat. And the peppers are supposed to be 2 to 3 inches in length. And also, they're supposed to have very thin walls. So I think this might be a good one for pickling, and maybe even pickling them whole, since they're so small. Like, could you imagine like a jar of these just like all filled up? I think that would be beautiful. So let's see. Let's make the little holes for these. And we will get them in there. These also have very small seeds. Not as small as tomato seeds. Those are super tiny, but these are smaller than some of the other peppers. Just get them in their little cells. Okay. Done. Now we're going to cover these up. And these I got from Baker's Creek. And, you know, if y'all stick around throughout the gardening season and see how things do, you'll get to see which of these things actually germinate. You'll get to see if the soil is a disaster and ruins everything, which I hope isn't the case. And you'll get to see, you know, which of these things are that I like, at least that I think are tasty, and how things grow and all the harvest and all that kind of stuff. Also, another place for garden updates. I'm sure a lot of y'all already are following me on Instagram. I know a lot of you are, at least, but if you're not, that is a place where you'll get to see in my stories, and then also, you know, in my feed, more updates in addition to the videos that you'll get on YouTube about the plants and how they're growing. And I think that's kind of helpful because, you know, my channel isn't a gardening channel, so you don't get to see, you get to see I mean, they're at least once a month updates, but it's not like I'm updating you every week. So if you want to see more stuff, Instagram is a good place for that. Okay, next, let me cross that off the list. And the next pepper that we're gonna do is a habanero type. So I'm doing 4 of these. So let me mark that off. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I count something wrong? I hope not. Sorry, I'm just looking at my list here. Okay, so next is mustard habanero. So this one is one that I've tried to grow for several years. This is one that Jason picked out of the catalog a couple years ago. I mean, we love spicy peppers. Habaneros are quite spicy, but still edible. It's not like a ghost pepper or a Carolina Reaper or anything like that. That's, you know, super spicy. But habaneros are very spicy. So we don't eat a lot of them. But every year, the plants have not made it. 2 years ago, we put them out in the garden and then came out there and all their tops were gone. I don't know what critter got out there and bit them, you know, just bit them right off and killed the plant. That's the only thing I can figure, because how else would that have happened? But they didn't eat any of the other plants, and of all the plants, why would they pick this one? It's very strange to me that they just went down that little row, went doot, 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 and then they moved on. But so that happened. Then last year, I think we started some, didn't have great germination, or then some of them died. I don't know. They seem to be quite fickle. So I'm going to try to baby them a little bit more this year, and hopefully we'll get some. We only really need 1 plant of these because we don't need that many habaneros, but it's more just, you know, they're cool colors. We thought it would be a fun thing to do. So hopefully this works out this year. So I'm starting 4, even though we only really need 1 plant, in hopes that we'll get something that will be strong enough that will survive. So make their little spots. Jason is just coming in the door, so if you hear jingle jangling, that's him. We're planting your habaneros, so hopefully they work out. I was just telling everyone about the saga of how they haven't been working out. Oh, yeah. I put that on the door, live stream in progress. So Jason doesn't come in and is like, what's going on?
That's how I normally come in.
Right, he normally comes in just screaming at the top of his lungs. But I thought it would be courteous to let you know. Or remind you at least. Big Orange came down the hall meowing once, and she's been walking around, but they haven't made an appearance too much. Moxie's in the hallway. Can y'all see him? Fresh Arch says, kitty! Let me move my chair a little bit. He's in the hallway there, rolling around on the floor. Doing who knows what. Bathing? I'm not sure. Let me see. I know I missed a comment. Kind of Vegan says, is gardening a gateway drug leading to canning and pickling?
Might be.
Might be. Because once you start to have all this stuff and you gotta figure out what to do with it. Freezing is also good. You know, we do a lot of freezing. That's a little bit of a, doesn't have the learning curve that canning or pickling have. Okay, so we got those done. Did I just mess that up? What did I just do? Sorry, I think I might have put a seed in the wrong spot. No? No, okay, I think I'm good. Planting seeds while distracted, not a great idea. All right, now I'm not gonna lie, we have a little bit of an issue here. I thought I calculated out that this would fit in all the seed cells. And now I have one extra spot. So either I didn't plant enough of something or my calculations are just wrong. So I'm gonna go through and count real quick. So we'll do a little review for those of you who are just joining us. First one, mini red. I wanted 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good. Second one we planted was the miniature yellow bell, and I wanted 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one's good. Next is Jimmy Nardello. I wanted 6 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's good. Next is the Aji Chinchi Amarillo here, and I wanted 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next one we did was Aji Cristal, and I wanted 8 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the problem. I only did 7. Okay. So we'll plant 1 more of these at the end. I'll set that to the side. Okay, so the others, if you're just coming in, I mean, you can go back and watch, but did Brazilian Starfish, Buena Mulata, 5 Chinese 5-color pepper, Craig's Grande Jalapeno, Traveler Strain Jalapeno, Lemon Drop, and then the Mustard Habanero. So that's what we've done so far. Next up, Ralph Thompson's Squash Pepper. Grew this for the first time last year. This is one that Jason picked out of the catalog, and I think it was a great pick. It's this really cool, like round, like bumpy, almost kind of looks like an heirloom tomato kind of shape, which is really fun. Beautiful bright color. We really like them. They were fairly productive, and they're good spicy pepper. So we're gonna grow these again this year because, I mean, this shape isn't the most convenient for spicy peppers as opposed to like a jalapeno where you can just slice it really easy. But it looks super cool, and again, not something that you're probably gonna find at your farmer's market, and it did well. So those are all good things in my book. Okay, so we are doing 4 of these. So no, that was the mustard habanero. Cross it off. We're doing 5 of these, and my hope is that we will have 3 to put out in the garden because that's how many we grew last year, and that seemed to be a good amount. So I'm gonna make the little holes for that. Here we go. All right, 1, 2, oh, I put 2 in there. 3 and 4. All right, these are good to go. And then I will cover those up. And now we're moving on to our last variety, believe it or not. So next up we have the Sugar Rush Peach. New variety this year. If you watched my seed haul, then you saw this one. This is supposed to have a sweet and spicy flavor, and it's this really kind of pretty pale orange color, which I thought was nice. So we're gonna try this one this year and see how it does, and who knows, maybe it will be a new favorite. I've read good things. I always look up reviews of different varieties after I kind of find them and say, oh, it looks good. I'll look up reviews to see what other people think, and it seems like most people really like this. So, and we are doing 4 of these with the hopes of having at least 2 to put out in the garden. So I will get these in their cells. And there we go. Put them in. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, got those in. I will cover those up. And then I also need to put that last Aji Cristal pepper in the final cell, but I'll do that in a minute because that's just a little thing. So I'll mark that cell so I don't forget to do that. But that's all the peppers. So if you've watched this whole thing, you have seen all the varieties I'm growing in the garden this year. You can stick around on the channel and see if we have any updates about how things do, or when I have updates as far as which things grow, which things don't, how many we actually end up with of each of these varieties, depending on how everything grows, and also how this seed starting situation does. So that's it for this live stream. Let me know if y'all like this. I know the seed starting, it's kind of, it's repetition. So once you see it, you kind of seen it. But I don't know if y'all like seeing the different varieties or that sort of thing, or just hanging out and chatting. So let me know about that. And otherwise, I will see y'all soon in my next video. I hope you like this one. Stick around for more gardening stuff, but then also, of course, all the food and nutrition videos I make as well. And I hope that you guys are having a great evening. And I'll talk to you next time, all right? Bye!